What is up, YouTube? Okay, I'm done with this. Hey guys, FNAF22 here, back with another video, and in today's video, you guys are seeing my full spoiler review of the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. Now, this is my second time trying to record this video because the first time I recorded it with my mic muted the entire time. So there was no audio. So now I am finally getting to record this and hopefully get it up for you guys as soon as possible so you can see my full review of the movie. Now, the movie was peak. I'm going to say it now. The movie was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. If you guys didn't watch my FNAF 2 movie review, how we do it is we kind of just show my face. We splice in and out footage of the movie. Most of it might be trailers just because a lot of it will be copyrighted. And we're just going to kind of go over the pros and the cons of this entire movie. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just going to tell you the things I liked. I'm going to tell you little bits and pieces of the story. I'm going to try not to spoil the entire story just so you guys can still go watch it yourself. So yeah, let's just jump in. Let's talk about the story of the movie and then we'll get into the pros and cons. So this movie kicks off stunningly. We kick off with a cold open of the King Jared versus Shao Kahn fight. We get to see baby Katana as she's talking with her father. Edenia's on their 9th loss. If they take one more loss to Outworld, they're cooked, bro. Edenia's done for. Shao Kahn gets to take over. And unfortunately, King Jared gets literally mollywopped by Shao Kahn within like the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie. I already knew this movie was going to be way more gory and way more rated R than the first one, just because some crazy stuff happens to King Jared as him and Shao Kahn are beefing. Like, he literally gets his whole like palm cut in half and all of his fingers are gone. It's pretty gnarly, but it's really, really cool to see. We get to see Shao Kahn kill King Jared, capture Edenia, and of course, you know, kidnap Sindel and Katana to kick off the movie. Such a great opener. Everybody in my theater was so excited to see it, and an amazing opener to kick off this movie. Almost as good as the first movie's opener, where we got to see like the original Scorpion and Sub-Zero battle, you know, when Sub-Zero kills Scorpion's family. So peak. What a great way to open this movie. Now, the story of this movie is pretty simple. It pretty much takes place in any kind of like Mortal Kombat universe where we are during the tournament. They're trying to build up to the tournament. We have 5 heroes versus 5 villains. And then, of course, you know, Raiden is trying to protect Earthrealm and Shao Kahn is trying to take over with Outworld. It pretty much takes place like any random Mortal Kombat tournament would. We do get to see, you know, the heroes trying to defend and build up their cast, as well as Shao Kahn, of course, cheating with the likes of like Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, which it was really cool to see Quan Chi in this movie. But either way, of course, it's just like a regular tournament style. You guys know how Mortal Kombat goes. Honestly, this movie was a lot better because in the first one, we're building up to the tournament. In this movie, we get to see the tournament. So it makes things a lot more better because, of course, in every Mortal Kombat game, it's pretty much the tournament. In this one, Earthrealm has taken 9 consecutive losses. So once again, if they take one more loss, Shao Kahn and Outworld get to take over. So yeah, pretty much they'd all be put into random matches where they had to fight, you know, one hero versus one villain, all that good stuff. On the hero side, we had Johnny Cage, who was like the newest member. He's kind of like the main male character of this story, but there's a lot of main characters in this entire story, which was really cool because that's pretty much how Mortal Kombat always has been. But we had Johnny Cage, we had Sonya, we had Jax, we had Liu Kang, and then Cole Young were 5 for the heroes, and then Shao Kahn was like one of the ones for the villains, which really surprised me because in most of the games both Shao Kahn and Raiden can't fight in the tournament just because it's uneligible, and they're kind of like the leaders of each realm. So it's kind of weird to see Shao Kahn. I think we had Kung Lao as one of them, like the Revenant version of Kung Lao, because he, you know, got oofed in the first movie. And then we had Jade, Katana, and Sindel. So that was really, really cool to see. You know, we get a bunch of random matches. We get like Sonya versus Sindel. We get a beautiful cinematography match of Liu Kang versus Revenant Kung Lao, and we get a match between Shao Kahn and Cole Young, Johnny Cage and Katana. We get a bunch of different matchups that have a lot of really cool fighting scenes in them, but the main part of the story is that Quan Chi finds Kano's body and finds Shinnok's amulet, or that Kano stole from Raiden's temple. They revive Kano so they can get the amulet, and now with this amulet, Shao Kahn is immortal. So pretty much the whole story is that, you know, Earthrealm was trying to beat Outworld, and even though Earthrealm's heroes are a little bit better, Outworld is cheating because Shao Kahn has the amulet and he's completely immortal, so he cannot die. So pretty much throughout this movie, Shao Kahn just mollywops most of the heroes. He runs through most of the main characters, killing a lot of people, actually. He kills a bunch. I'll kind of go into more of like the deaths and stuff and the pros and cons, but he gets rid of, you know, like some main characters like Jax and Liu Kang. He's obviously running through all the lower tier characters. He has so much aura in this movie. We'll talk a little bit more about that later as well, but Shao Kahn just looked so peak in this movie. It was actually amazing. We also get to see Noob Saibot as Shang Tsung rebirths Bi-Han as Noob Saibot to kind of be Shao Kahn's right-hand man for a little bit. It's really cool. In the final fight, we get to see Shao Kahn wins. He kills all the heroes. Outworld's about to take over Earthrealm, but then Kitana switches sides. Kitana goes to the good side. She says, I'm not working for you anymore. And we get the final fight between Kitana and Shao Kahn, which was really cool to see. I mean, the emotion from both actors was really great. The emotion from Kitana's actress was so peak. It was so good. It was just, she was doing an amazing job showing all that like hatred and also like fear in a way to Shao Kahn, because obviously he's a big scary dude, and he kidnapped her while she was young, so it was a really great emotion. While we get to see some of the heroes like Johnny Cage and surprisingly Kano, who stays good to the end, but we'll see about that in the next one. And them teaming up to take on Noob Saibot in the Netherrealm. We also get the fight between Scorpion and Noob Saibot, which is really good as well. In the end, they pretty much get rid of the amulet. Shao Kahn becomes unimmortal. Kitana reveals her to everybody and kills him. Kitana kills Shao Kahn just like she does in Mortal Kombat 11, and we get to see Kitana Kahn take over Outworld and try to make Outworld a better place with her right-hand woman being Jade. Such a really great story. I really loved it. It just feels more like Mortal Kombat. The first movie wasn't bad. I was actually one of the dumb, naive kids that really enjoyed the first movie, but obviously looking back, there are a lot of flaws in the very first movie. This movie was way better. This movie had way more intentions to be more like Mortal Kombat. This movie fit way more into the story, had a lot of great, you know, cameos and stuff that just references the franchise, had a lot of different like iterations of Mortal Kombat. You know, we get to see like an older Johnny Cage with Karl Urban. We get to see a newer Kitana with Kitana Kahn, like we do in Mortal Kombat 11. We get a super like menacing Shao Kahn. We get a more accurate Liu Kang and Raiden. It's just, it was peak. It was really good. I love to see how they progressed this story, and they did the characters and the whole plots in this movie way better than the first one. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I'll spiel about the story. I don't want to spoil too much, because if you haven't gone and seen the movie, you should definitely go see it. It's really good. Let's get more into my pros and cons for the entire movie. Even though this was a really good movie, of course, there are still going to be some cons like there are with every form of media. But let's start off with the pros. Cole Young dies. I waited for days like this. I waited. Cole Young gets absolutely mollywopped by Shao Kahn during one of the first fights in the movie. It was so happy. Everybody hated Cole Young from the first movie. He's dead now. Shao Kahn killed him. But no, on an all serious note, I was a little surprised by this fight, because Cole Young actually did get a lot of momentum on Shao Kahn. I kind of understand, because they made him like his own original character of this franchise, so he's still got to be have some kind of strength level, but to get some good hits in on Shao Kahn was insane. Thankfully, though, Shao Kahn mollywopped him and absolutely smashed his head like a crushed watermelon. Oh my. Bro got cooked. And I actually really like the actor for Cole Young. I think his name is Louis Tan. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I actually do really like his actor, and I know he's kind of talked about like wanting to play like Kenshi or Takeda in one of the movies. I would much rather see him there. We don't need Cole Young in this franchise. Alright, let's move on to an actual pro, and I've kind of already talked about this before, but this movie had way better gore, way better like rated R stuff, and a way better story. They were cussing, they were showing so much blood, so many great fatalities and deaths, so much more fighting scene, and like of course I said, the story was so much better. This movie just did everything wrong with the first movie, threw it out the window, and did everything way better. They turned the scale up to 11. I loved it. It was great. They did a lot better in this movie. And of course, a lot of the characters were portrayed really well. Going into this movie, a lot of people were worried about certain characters like Karl Urban playing Johnny Cage, or bringing back some of the dead characters like Kung Lao and Kano. I think everybody was done really well. Liu Kang finally locked in. In the first movie, bro was not locked in at all. Like, he was doing like literally nothing, and finally in this movie he locked in. He turned into the Liu Kang that we all love and know, fighting Shao Kahn, you know, bringing out the fire dragons and everything. He does unfortunately get killed by Shao Kahn, which he kind of says, you know, it isn't my like destiny to kill you, it's somebody else's, which could either be teasing, you know, Katana, or in a future installment, you know, Kung Lao coming back as a good guy because he wants to save his brother. It was really cool to see like the evil version of Kung Lao. He was pretty much a revenant. They didn't really say he was a revenant, but he just got brought back to life. So pretty much a revenant, and his actor's really great. So it was cool to see him. And then, of course, Kano was amazing. I love Kano so much. Kano is one of the funniest characters. He was my favorite character in the first movie. He's still top 3 in this movie. I think Shao Kahn was a little bit cooler, but he's still like top 2. Like, I love Kano. I think his actor's name is Josh Larson. Let me tell you now, Warner Bros. NetherRealm, if you ever continue to make this franchise and not bring him back as Kano, you're screwing up, man, because Kano always has to be a part of this trilogy. Like, Kano is such a good actor. He had the whole theater laughing. I love Kano's character in these movies. They've always got to bring him back. Like, Kano is my least favorite character in the Mortal Kombat games, and somehow he's the best character in the movies. I don't know how they do it. And of course, you've got Karl Urban, Johnny Cage. Now, a lot of people are worried because Karl Urban is a great actor. He does great in The Boys and every other media that he's been in. But to play Johnny Cage, a lot of people were worried that he'd be a little too old because he's kind of in like his 40s and 50s, when where we're at in the timeline, Johnny Cage should be, maybe 20s or 30s, around the same age as Sonya. I think he did a great job. I think he was really funny. I think there was a lot of great scenes. I thought this scene in particular with Brock on the Tarkots would be an amazing meme, so I'm going to try to play that on screen. And yeah, I think Karl Urban did just such a great job as Johnny Cage portraying the character. The only nitpick I have about it is I feel like he's a little too old for where we're at in the timeline, because Cassie still isn't born unless we're not going the Kombat Kid route, unless we're just going to have like Johnny and Sonya be their own thing. They kind of flirted a little bit, but nothing really crazy. Like, they weren't really like teasing that they're going to get together and have a kid like they do in the actual games. Besides that, I think he did great. I feel like Johnny Cage should have been a little bit younger in this movie, but Karl Urban's a great actor, and I love to see his portrayal. I think he did an amazing job as Johnny Cage. Now, the fight scenes in this movie were top-notch. The fight scenes were so peak. They did the choreography way better in this movie, and they gave us more fighting. That's what people want in a Mortal Kombat fighting game movie. They want to see more fighting. They did an amazing job. Some of the fights that I really loved were like the Noob Saibot versus Scorpion fight in the NetherRealm. That one was so cool. The part where Noob gets cut in half like an OG Scorpion fatality. So peak. I love to see Scorpion, love to see Noob in this movie. They had a really great fight, as well as the fight between Kung Lao and Liu Kang in like the Shadow Realm. So cool. The emotion and the choreography in that scene was so amazing. And then at the end, Kung Lao's hat is stuck in the ground. It's spinning like a razor blade. Liu Kang kind of gets kicked back like he's just going to take the death. And then he pulls Kung Lao on top of his own hat and kills him with his own weapon. Peak. I mean, it was such a great fight. They were so emotional. Just the fights with like Liu Kang's actor was so great, as well as the ones with Shao Kahn, like Shao Kahn versus Katana towards the end of the movie. So good. The choreography in this movie was just amazing. There's not more praise I could give it. It was just so good. And my last pro, the biggest pro for this movie, we got an Ed Boon cameo. I was so excited to see Ed Boon cameo in this movie. I know a lot of people were upset he didn't cameo in the first movie. If you guys don't know, Ed Boon is the one of the original creators of Mortal Kombat. He cameoed in this movie. He played a bartender serving Johnny Cage up some drinks. It was just peak. I love to see Ed Boon. He's such a good guy, and I just love to see him interact with the Mortal Kombat community and be in projects like this. So peak. It was actually such a big con. I love that cameo. Now, even though I've been glazing and praising this movie a lot, let's move over into the cons, because I do have a few small nitpicks with this movie, just a few small things I didn't like as much, with my first con being that some characters just needed to be a little bit more fleshed out. Some characters did really great. I think Shao Kahn looked amazing. He had so much aura, but we didn't really get the scenes like we did in the first one where they're all kind of sitting around a table, just munching down and getting to talk and kind of share their lore. We didn't really get that. So some characters like Liu Kang, for example, who really needed to lock in, bro had no big moments in the first movie, even though he's the main character of the entire franchise. But then in this movie, he kind of starts that way, not so cool, a little bit of a softer Liu Kang, and then towards the end he locks in, finally understands his destiny and starts kicking some butt. I just wish we had more of those slower, somber moments in between. I'm really glad we got a high action paced movie, but there could have been some slower moments in between just to help build up and flesh out characters. One of the slight cons I had was with Shao Kahn. I know, I just said he was my favorite character in this entire movie, and I said that he has so much aura, which he did. Every scene he was in, he looked so cool. Dare I say, in all movies and animated stuff of Mortal Kombat, not including the games, this is the best depiction of Shao Kahn. Is that a hot take? I don't know. He was just so cool. Martin Ford, the bodybuilder, did such a great job portraying this character, just showing off how much aura he had. There was just some small stuff I like kind of nitpicked with him. I just wish he had a little bit more menacing aura. Now, don't get me wrong. He killed Jax. He killed Liu Kang. Killed Cole Young. He killed like most of the good guys. I just wish there was like a little bit more plot armor to him. Just because like in the fight with Cole Young, he almost dies. Cole Young almost completely kills him, massacres him. The only reason he survived is because he was immortal. If he didn't have the amulet, he'd be dead. And then in this universe, Cole Young just murdered Shao Kahn, like, which would never happen. I would have just loved to see Shao Kahn be a little bit more brute with some of the like smaller, weaker characters. I also think it would have been kind of cool if they did like a scene where maybe there's like 3 or 4 like OG Mortal Kombat characters that nobody really cares about, some smaller, lesser known like heroes, and Shao Kahn just brutally ran through them, murdered all of them, you know, very brutally. I would have just loved to see a little bit more aura on his character, but I'm not complaining. I still think they did a great representation of Shao Kahn. Like I said, one of the best versions of Shao Kahn of all time. Now, another tiny nitpick is with 2 characters like costume designs, which would be Raiden and Baraka. Now, Raiden's original costume looks great. I love the blue and white. I love the homage to the classic Mortal Kombat. I just don't really know how I feel about like this depiction of Raiden. He's not the best version of Raiden. I think the older like 1990s movie Raiden was way better. I just don't really like this like actor or portrayal for Raiden. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. I feel mid on him. Like, he's not bad. He's just not amazing. I just don't really know how I feel about him. And then I know a lot of people really didn't like the design of Baraka. I kind of go back and forth where I'm kind of mid on it again. I think it's cool that he's like disgusting looking. He should look almost monstrous in a way because he's not human. He's infected. You know, he should look kind of gross. Like, his teeth shouldn't be all straight in his mouth and everything. But at the same time, of course, he doesn't really look like one-to-one with any of the versions from the game. So it's kind of a hard like way to go there with Baraka. And also, he wasn't like a very scary or menacing character. He seemed kind of more like cowardly at first, and then he kind of became more of like a joke character towards the end, which is okay. It's totally cool to have joke characters in these movies, but we already had like Kano and Johnny Cage. I don't really think Baraka needed to be a joke character. He should have been more of like a serious, kind of menacing character in a way. But those are just small nitpicks with like characters that I don't really like very much. Still think the depiction was cool. I still love to see like the lore accurate costumes and like Baraka on screen. I just wish they were done slightly different. And my last con, which is not a very big one, is that there was no after credit scene. I was really hoping we were going to get some kind of after credit scene, maybe to tease a third movie in this franchise. Unfortunately, we did not get one. It was kind of sad, but I do think they did it to kind of like honor the cast and the crew that worked on this movie, because it took a lot of people to work on it. So that's very cool. I can't complain against that. That is a really cool reason not to do an end credit scene. I was just really hoping at the end of the movie, you know, we get to see Quan Chi just kind of taken in. He doesn't die. Shao Kahn's dead. We're moving on. I was just kind of hoping to see maybe like Shao Kahn getting resurrected by like Shang Tsung like he does in Mortal Kombat 9, just because Shang Tsung never died, or maybe some kind of tease to like Shinnok being the next villain. I don't know. I was just really hoping we get a tease for a third movie, but either way, it still looks like they're interested in doing a third movie, just because they, you know, kind of built up some plot points that we could see, you know, grow and become bigger in the next movie. So really cool. Kind of sad we didn't get an end credit scene, but either way, really cool. Love this movie. So yeah, guys, honestly, I love this movie. It was way better than the first movie. Honestly, as like a Mortal Kombat fan who loves Mortal Kombat and a fan of just video game movies, this must be one of the most accurate and best video game movies of all time. I would honestly give it like maybe a 9 out of 10. It was just that good. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think all of my friends that I went with enjoyed it as well. It was just so peak. It was amazing. I loved it so much. I thought it was really cool. I also got a really cool popcorn bucket from the movie that I can display on my collection. It's got the dragon logo, Cage, Shao Kahn, and Katana, and this was like $20 compared to the $80 one I bought for the FNAF movie. So really cool. I just thought it was so cool overall. I really enjoyed this movie. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the movie, the lore, the characters, all that good stuff. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I'd be up to like, you know, discussion and debate in the comments. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you always be notified for when I drop another video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.